continue risk monitoring and are collecting and analyzing data to guide our response. Emergency coordination and response. We have activated coordination structure under the National Disaster Management Framework, and we are working with counties and district disaster management committees to share information and plan our operations. Early warning and public awareness. We are sharing safety messages via social media and community network system, and educating community on flood preparedness and evacuation steps and safety measures. Search and rescues and emergency support. We are working with emergency responders, security institutions like the Liberia National Police, and local authorities to provide life-saving assistance wherever it is needed. The NDMA is also working closely with the government of Liberia, including the Ministry of Local Government, the Ministry of Public Works, the Ministry of Health, the Liberia Water and Sewer Corporation, the Liberia National Fire Service, the Armed Forces of Liberia, the Liberia National Police, the Liberia National Red Cross, and other government institutions to ensure that the whole government responds together to this situation. We also remain engaged with private sectors and our development and humanitarian partners, including the United Nations, the IMF, the World Bank, and other humanitarian organizations to strengthen our preparedness, build stronger emergency response capacity, and make sure recovery efforts reach affected community in a timely and coordinated way. Ladies and gentlemen, beyond responding to this emergency, the NDMA understands that reducing flood risks in the long term require real investment. Our recovery and risk reduction efforts going forward will focus on strengthening the resilience of community, improving drainage system and flood control infrastructure with relevant authority, promoting smarter risk-informed planning for land use purposes, supporting affected households to recover their livelihood, strengthening community-based disaster management, and expanding early warning system and early action programs. The increasing frequency and severity of flooding shows the growing impact of climate change on disaster risk in Liberia. Because of this, reducing flood risks must be a shared responsibility, one that involves government institutions, local authorities, development partners, civil society organizations, the private sector, and every citizen. We call on all citizens to help reduce flood risks by keeping drainage systems clean, avoiding improper waste disposal, following environmental regulations, and complying with public safety guidelines. The National Disaster Management Agency remains fully committed to protecting life, safeguarding livelihood, coordinating an effective response to this flood situation involving all relevant actors. We will continue to closely monitor the situation and provide regular updates as new information becomes available. Together, through preparedness, coordination, resilient building, and collective action, we can reduce the impact of flooding and strengthen Liberia's ability to withstand future disasters. Thank you very much.
Man, the honorable man disappointed. How are you today, right? Okay, so he spoke from a prepared text. Hello? He spoke from a prepared text, which Family will share with you later. We now entertain questions from the folk estate. Please pay attention and listen. Your colleagues are asking. If you don't have questions, you don't need to disturb.
Thank you, Mr. Yourself.
So thank you. I'm Barros, welcome. And of course, I will hope for you to be on our platform because the name is that we permit to ask. So it has been the news. I was privileged to have been here for very few years, and the road was horrible. As it wasn't a few years ago, and then it has been very controversial where former family needs has been claiming.
Please speak to the microphone.
Has been claiming Prime Minister Samuel Victoria has been claiming that under their government, since the government secured all of the financial roads, including electricity, including the capital research. And you as a people can confirm this. Second to that, listen to the former president of the Republic of Liberia telling your government, the government now has a narco state. What is response to that?
As a what?
As a narco state.
What is that?
So my question is directly to the minister. Recently we experienced a devastating accident which was in the morning of airport down from the ANUs with trucks. So what are the government doing to stop this truck from riding on the day?
My name is James Mbala and I report for Rojo Africa Management. The question go to the NDMA boss. With the reason still lie ahead of us, in recent days we have monitored Florence in the rural communication, Monrovia in the part of Liberia. Do the MDMA has the statistics records on community that is flooded and how many communities we expect to see the rainy season coming ahead of us to be affected in the coming. In regard to awareness, do you plan billboards in those communities in the dry season with the warning in regard to awareness when the rainy season is coming? Do you plan billboards?
All right, thanks so kindly. And so I'm Otis Nax Jr. and I do so for Sabbath to be like this. I want to say thanks to the Honorable Minister, Mr. Pia and his able dedicated for bringing us to light as it relates to our national issues. My question is directed to Honorable Ansu Dole. Mr. Dole, you spoke very eloquently. However, a concern has been raised regarding your dress code, Mr. Dole. Today you are elegantly dressed in a blue European style suit, complemented by a colorful gold patterned African glove strap around your neck. Is there any significance or symbolism behind wearing the traditional African cloth over your European style suit? Does the combination represent a particular message, culture, identity, or personal statement, Mr. Dole? Thank you.
My name is Roosevelt Joshua Johnson, and I report for Taplas Television. So my question goes to Mr. Dole. So I want to take you to the construction of the overpass bridge along the Converton Road. When you are driving, Mr. Dole. So when you are driving along that road where the construction is going, specifically at the Boulevard Junction, where you get the Boulevard Junction, there's a hill right on the right when you're going, and then the road construction engineer have already placed a drainage over there. I want to know when it comes to that hill, because in the near future, probably that will be face a disaster. What are you doing, or what are your relationship with our road construction engineers in terms of future disaster in our country? Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Madam Opolo and I report for Israel Abura. Mr. Pia, I have one question for you. Thank you. So, Mr. Pia, the United Party-led government won the admiration of the people before the 2023 election due to the support and collaboration you get with other political parties. And you won the people attention. Now, these same people who were with you before the election, they have split. They have decided to go to the defeated CDC. They're now coming for you. You know, what we saw in Grand G, that means opposition collaboration. My question is the government, Unity Party government, prepared to battle the same people who were with you just some, year back? Comes 2029. And to Mr. Dole, thank you so much. They say you disappointed us today. But this is the question. That Mr. Pia said, only during the winter season you come to tell community people that we come here, this will be But they say prevention better than cure. What are you doing during the dry season so that the people will not build to these places? What are you doing? Thank you.
Mr. Thank you. My name is Joseph. Sorry, I'm for that. My question goes to Mr. Kelly. Let me say thank you today. You were very, very much short in your speech, and welcome back. We pray that you continue to be in this manner. And for me, I'm key to know that we have 14 counties within Liberia. So, when you was speaking, you didn't give us some raw data, how many people have been affected within some of these counties, and how many people that your management were able to rescue in terms of fraud and other issues. Thank you.
Okay, so my name is Roberta Donado from Pocahontas 5.3 FM, and my question goes to Mr. Gordon, right? You said the team collected during footage, and their findings show that 1,000 residents are affected directly or indirectly. So I want to know how the data collected and how effective are those team members?
My name is Aruna Epogi, and I report for ACFM. My question is directed to Mr. Dolan. Mr. Dolan, according to you, you said that Liberians were victimized due to recent flooding, but you did not make mention of what specific intervention did you and your team did in order to sympathize with the victim. Thank you.
My name is Samuel Johnson. We disappear on 16, I report for Harvard, Liberia. On 16 June, you announced that the government of Liberia, headed by the president, will have breaking ground for the construction of the Gabriel Tucker Bridge to the Freeport of Monrovia Road Corridor that is being grant provided by JICA. 2 Fridays has passed and the groundbreaking ceremony hasn't taken place. And you have not said anything further as to whether government has announced another date for the groundbreaking ceremony. Liberia are yearning to know when is the new date for the groundbreaking ceremony. Thank you.
My name is Satu Kuruma, and I report for Fokai. My question goes to the National Disaster Management Agency. You spoke mostly about preparing for the future flooding, the upcoming flooding. But I want to know, what is the National Disaster Management doing towards the current flooding within the country?
So, good afternoon. I'm Priscilla Otija, and I report for ELDC. And my question goes to the Minister of Information. Our disaster river bridge has been temporarily reopened. Can you guarantee public safety, and who will be held accountable if an incident occurs?
A pleasant good afternoon. My name is Winston. My name is Winston Kaba Tigan. I report for School Network. Why you can stay with my name at 5 times? So, Honorable Director.
Listen, when you were asking me the question in Greenwich, why you didn't do that to me? Huh? You start doing it. Okay.
Thank you. So, Honorable Director, many Liberians believe that, the National Disaster Management, they are very, very much slow in reacting. I'm asking that's spoon. Yeah. So many Liberians are saying the disaster management team in Liberia are very reactive instead of being preventive. What's your take on that? Thank you.
Good also staff of the Liberia in this church. The six former arrested on this Monrovia. So on this disaster issue, you're already aware that every rainy season will have flooding in the country. That is something that we need to talk about, taking the action. So what long-term measures as the disaster management is put into place in line with the Ministry of Public Works, the local government to address the root cause of these disaster reporting, not just to after the disaster occurred and then we talk about it, but before happening, then what measures are we putting in place to tackle it before they occur? Thank you.
Okay, my name is Armstrong, and I'm with your BC. My question goes to Monrovia. You talked about those international agencies or partners that are working with the 19+ million saga. You care to mention some of these international partners? Probably somebody listening has information or evidence to present to these agencies you work with. You care to mention whether it's the FBI, Interpol, CIA, and the list goes on. Thank you.
Thank you. Those are all the questions.
So you will not give a chance to properly elucidate and give you details of what it is. On the genesis of our explanation here this afternoon, we clearly told you what it is, what the current situation is. And I also want to let you know that you need to sometimes go beyond normal journalistic reporting and go to research to understand what it is, what is the core function of the National Disaster Management Agency. If you don't do that, you'll be asking questions that are not germane to our discussion. And so our first of all, let us address the person who asked for my dress code. I'm actually not responsible for anybody not dressing the way I dress. But you expected me to be in green boots. You expected me to be in a vest to indicate or actually show the picture that disaster is actually occurring. That's what you thought. But as you can see behind there, you see people in jackets. People are already on the field. You don't expect the executive director for the National Disaster Management Agency to appear before the international community dilapidated. And so, that is the answer for that. So, the gentleman from Spoon said, we are already reactive and not proactive.
Not preventive.
Not preventive, and that is wrong. Then you are not following the NDMA page. Disaster is not the actual occurrence of the disaster itself when it occurs. Disaster prevention and mitigation is key. Just last week, we were in Kakata training community dwellers on the prevention of disaster. That's our preparedness. We prepare the community. We prepare vulnerable groups. We are doing it across the country. Last month, we also activated the County Disaster Management Committee in Bonyama Local County, headed by the superintendent. We are also on our way to Lima County to activate the Local Disaster Management Committee. You see, we are the disaster management, and the act is very clear. We work in collaboration with other line ministries and agencies, with the counties, with the districts. So our early warning system is a real-time early warning system if everything is built. Somebody asked a question that what are we doing? What's the relationship with the road work at Bolivar Junction, the salt drainage that is being constructed? But if you begin to start complaining before the road is completed, those are engineers. We are not getting their engineering plan, but we work with them closely. We work with the Public Works Ministry closely. What you just brought up to our attention has not been captured by the National Disaster Management Agency, but we intervene and go to public work to make sure what you are saying should not come to reality if there is a future disaster that will occur there. I can guarantee you that the next time I come there will be an answer for that. So during the dry season, if you go to Clarendon now, during the dry season, it's perfectly good. Our messages is going around. People bathe in villages. They bathe in swamp. We are working with the Environmental Protection Agency. We are also working right now with the road, the land authority, working with the National Housing Authority to stop community dwellers from bathing in swamps. The moment you bathe in the swamp when it rains, there will be no way for the water to go. It will continue to flow. So our messages is going around. Our Facebook page is active. We work through community leaders. In Newport Town, for example, we work with the governors to educate the people what to do and what not to do. And we also work through communities, organizations. That's what we do during the dry season. So another person asked a question that we said that there was a drone footage, how they will get the data. My deliberation here, I did not mention specific number of human beings that will be moving. I told you the drone footage, we have sophisticated drones. The footage indicates that more than 1,000 houses, people will be moving because the water is all over. And the water we are talking about is flash floor. The flash floor is something that while it raining, the water will set. When it rain goes down, the water goes beneath the surface of the earth. That is flash floor. There are also places where continual inland flooding occurs. So we are working on that gradually. This is not one institution. We do not only have flooding that we cater to. We cater to also windstorm, the coastal erosion. And so we are doing everything humanly possible to bring this situation under control. So the data collection is ongoing. The situation is happening currently. We are collecting data through our people, through the Red Cross and other agencies that are related to the National Disaster Management Agency. So if we can, when we collect the data, somebody asks for intervention. Once the data is collected and is disaggregated, we know how many pregnant women, how many youth, how many family heads, and of course the relief will follow. So we did not talk about relief here because the data have to be completed and shared with relevant authorities. That is the reason why I didn't talk about any relief. And once the data is collected and is analyzed, and the loss and damage people also go there to know what economic losses that took place, we definitely can relief. Government is prepared for that this time around. What is the long-term measure to prevent disaster? You know, Honorable Minister, drainages is now the place where garbage goes in. Individual, within their own color of rights, use the drainage to put garbage in the drainages. Somebody will deliberately build a house in the waterway. If you go to Red right now, I can tell you, with some degree of actuality and certainty, that indeed, if it rains 2 or 3 days continuously, the entire Omega community will be flooded. Swamps are being dried up by the wetting. Stores is being built in the swamp, for God's sake. And if you expect government, and you know when it rains, there will be flooding, bridges will collapse, the rates of hazard, diseases will occur, wells will be contaminated. Then another hazard will occur, the NPOs will follow, draining government resources. Yet, you will accuse government of doing nothing. You expect us to do something every year, the same thing. We have told you repeatedly that do not build in the swamp. Do not pour dirt in the drainages. As a matter of fact, Monrovia was built for a certain number of people. The drainages created here is very small. Urban movement of human beings have occurred in Monrovia. And so the usage of the sewage becomes so jammy. And then you created that with another dike. So we are talking to the people. We are talking to public work. And sooner or later, buildings in swampy area will be demolished to give way to the water to pass. And then you come again to say, oh, you know, I had a meeting with somebody and the person told me, say, oh, but the people that you're talking about to go build the house in the swamp, they're also paying heavy. So if the economy is booming. So the economy will boom at the detriment of yourself. We're not going to accept that anymore. Just to let you know that the National Disaster Management Agency is the coordinating arm of all disaster-related activities in the country. We are working and coordinating our activities. There are certain hazards that we can directly respond to. And other hazards will be responded to through the cluster system. If it is now the movement of people from one place to another, we will contact the Air Trouble ROC. They got to do that. If it is a hazard, health hazard, NPO and the Ministry of Health will do that. We will only do the coordinating aspect of it logistically, and you know coordination too require money. And so, ladies and gentlemen of the press, I wouldn't like to spend too much time here that every question you ask have been answered either through one answer or two. So I want to thank you for asking all of your questions. I hope your questions have been answered. Sooner or later, the National Disaster Management Agency will be moving vigorously and courageously towards our people, and giving them relief items and making sure that the government promises to them will be fulfilled. And we're also telling you here now that the government has no shortage of relief items to its own people. We are going to give relief when it is necessary, when the data is being collected, analyzed, and disaggregated for children, women, and people. Thank you very much for your understanding.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Were elected to do a piece of job. To the best of my knowledge, we're doing what we're elected to do. We formed concession to pave our road from Bowell South to St. Paul Bridge, 4 lanes. We got concession to pave our road all the way up to Tucson Road. We got concession of pave our road from the Cobman to Bonjima and from Bon County to Bonjima. We're building our road from Medina to Ragos Coast. We're building different community roads. We're stretching the construction of the road from Nimba to Grenjide, eventually to River G, where the last stretch of Dusty Road will end. That's what we're committed to doing and what we're doing. If the country raised all the money it needed for road, why did we just sign a 30 million concession still on the local road. What do we have the public for concession if all the roads are paid for? So sometimes, some of the things that people say, it doesn't work here anymore. And I know my friend too very well. We are good friends. Somebody the quality is on the good side. If I advise him, let him pay attention to the matters he got in court. And how he can cleanse himself on the American sanction. I think those who personally help he and his family, they're yelling every time you see people take my you got to work hard and do a year. You ended your term being sanctioned at your age. If those things don't concern you, then you commit your time to clearing yourself, and claims and counterclaims about things you did not do. If you think that's okay for you, continue. But my advice to him, as young as he is, you will pay attention to his ongoing legal classes and begin to think seriously about how he can untangle himself from being the sanctioned victim of the greatest country on earth. Somebody whose administration 100 million out of drugs into the country. If you allow the perpetrators to walk away free, that person still has stomach and mouth to talk and talking about Liberia is a narco state. Now you're the one who's saying it. So you judge for yourself on whose leadership the country was a narco state. 100 million, nothing happened. 19 million, you can get 19 million in 100 million. Serious investigation is ongoing. And somebody who's completely distracted from the country. Nothing about the country matters for you. Who cares about this country will not be focused here and go sit down somewhere to work off for 1 month? You ought to be really less basic to go sit down somewhere working for 1 month. Johnsonville, the police is responsible for road safety issues. I've seen myself and read about this young lady who was in this truck accident. I'm told she lost a leg or something. I haven't seen her. I purpose to see her, to see her family on my own, not on behalf of the government. I hope it doesn't change her life in a drastic way. And we appreciate the fact that you see on social media a number of persons reaching out, supporting us. So my friend, having actor, president of the university, and the vice president's office, and a lot of people have been coming to our aid. And I think we should pray that her life is not altered in a serious way as a result of that accident. And we just encourage also our law enforcers to be more rigorous in road safety issues. We hope that the vehicles that are flying our streets are being subjected to the road safety test so that they can start endangering people, making people to feel what the young lady had to pass through. Liberia is a democratic state. And so when someone asks a question about who is on one side, who not on one side, I think basically it's a waste of our time. In a democratic state, everybody got the right to choice. But to the best of my knowledge, I think all of the forces that we galvanized for 2023 are together. The main foundation of our alliance, the Unity Party itself, the Republican Liberty Party, the MDR, those are the forces, that came together, and they are still largely together. So when you see people who are on the other side, I don't know what you mean. But again, like I said, so the Democratic State, they're too much further than on the other side. Every year now. That's how you say, well, on the other side too, where you see. So you don't worry about that. We are focused on delivering. We say, God, what? 3.5 years to go to election. And you're worrying about who's going to play, who's not going to play. We just want to focus on the job we do. When election time comes, why you want it, why you get it. Don't forget that when you vote for the wrong people, it is you who feel it. We saw people crying here in the last 6 years before they got thinking. You know why you want it. And 2029 come, whatever you want, why you get it. So, for those who believe that that's where they're supposed to be, it is the Democratic right will reach them well. We just focus on keeping ourselves and delivering services to the people. So the groundbreaking was announced. Yes, you who asked that question for the Baton to Freeport. It was expected that the president would have been back in the country before. At that time, the president was still out. So it has been rescheduled, and we announced the rescheduled date here before the groundbreaking takes place.